123 horsepower per liter, from a naturally aspirated four-cylinder, with a 9,000 revolutions per minute redline in 1999. Ferrari didn't beat that number until 2010. And the engine that set that record? It's still running at 250,000 miles in garages around the world. Today, I'm breaking down the two Honda engine families that modern engineering still can't kill. In the 1990s, Honda did something that no manufacturer has done since. They built two families of naturally aspirated four-cylinder engines that simultaneously set performance records and durability records. The B-series, found in Civics, Integras, and CR-Vs. And the F-series, the heart of the legendary S2000. These engines weren't built with compromise. They weren't downsized and turbocharged to meet emissions targets. They weren't designed with a planned obsolescence date. They were built by engineers who, and I genuinely believe this, loved engines more than they loved profit margins. But why does this matter right now? While modern turbocharged engines are choking on carbon deposits at 50,000 miles and turbochargers are burning out at 150,000, these Honda engines from the 90s are still running. 250,000 miles, some past 500,000. One particular Civic hit 1,000,000 miles on its original Honda engine. 1,000,000. Nostalgia doesn't get you 1,000,000 miles. Engineering does. So let's start with the engine family that changed everything. And what Honda did with the B-series wasn't just impressive, it was borderline insane, because they put Formula One technology into a car that cost less than a loaded Camry. The Honda B-series launched in 1989 and ran through 2001. It came in three main flavors: the B16, B18, and B20. And each one was built with a philosophy that sounds obvious but apparently isn't. Make it strong enough that it doesn't break. Let's start with the numbers. The B16A, 1.6 liters, 160 horsepower. That's 100 horsepower per liter in 1989. For context, most engines in that era were making 60 to 70 horsepower per liter. Honda was 50% ahead of the industry. From a production engine you could buy at a dealership. The B18C1 in the Integra GSR pushed it further. 1.8 liters, 170 horsepower, 8,000 revolutions per minute redline. The secret to its longevity? Closed deck block design. While other manufacturers were using open deck blocks to save weight and cost, Honda went closed deck, which means the cylinder walls are fully supported at the top. More material, more rigidity, more resistance to the kind of flex that kills engines at high RPM. Add to that oil squirters underneath each piston, little jets that spray oil onto the underside of the pistons to cool them down during high RPM operation. Most economy cars didn't have those. Most performance cars didn't have those. Honda put them in the Civic. And they threw in a timing belt that, yes, needs replacing, but is so overbuilt that it routinely lasts well beyond its service interval without catastrophic failure. The result? B-series engines routinely hit 250,000 miles with basic maintenance. Oil changes, timing belt, valve adjustments. That's it. No walnut blasting, no turbo replacement, no LSPI, just an engine that does its job and keeps doing it until you sell the car. But the standard B-series was just the warm-up act. Because what Honda did next with the Type R engine is the kind of thing that makes other engineers lose sleep. The B18C5, 1.8 liters, 195 horsepower, 8,400 revolutions per minute redline. Wrap your head around this. This engine had the highest piston speed of any automotive engine in the world when it launched, higher than Honda's own Formula One engines, higher than their IndyCar power plants, in a car that's stickered for $25,000. Honda took every trick from their racing program and shoved it into a production engine. Forged connecting rods. Not cast, not sintered, forged. The same process used in race engines because they handle stress without cracking. Hand-ported intake and exhaust ports for maximum airflow efficiency. A compression ratio of 10.6 to 1, aggressive enough for maximum power, conservative enough for pump gas reliability. And VTEC, not the internet meme version, the actual engineering masterpiece. At low RPM, the B18C5 runs on mild cam profiles for fuel efficiency and smooth city driving. Cross 5,800 revolutions per minute and the system physically switches to aggressive cam lobes that open the valves wider and hold them open longer. It's like having two engines in one, a commuter car below 6,000 revolutions per minute and a race engine above it. But here's what separates the Type R from every pretender. Honda didn't just bolt on aggressive cams and hope for the best. They individually balanced every rotating assembly. They hand-inspected every engine. The assembly line for the B18C5 wasn't a line at all. It was a small team of Honda's best engine builders treating each unit like a race engine. Call it what it is. They were building race engines and putting them in street cars. And the reliability? As one automotive journalist famously put it, the B18C5 is as reliable as the sunrise. These engines handle 250 to 300 horsepower on stock internals without complaint. On stock internals from a naturally aspirated 1.8 liter. If you've made it this far, you clearly have good taste in engines. Hit subscribe. We break down the engineering truth behind every legendary car every week. No manufacturer spin, just real data and the occasional terrible car joke. Now let's talk about the F-Series. Because if the B18C5 was Honda showing off, the F20C was Honda proving a point that Ferrari took 11 years to answer. 1999, Honda unveils the S2000 at the Tokyo Motor Show, and under the hood sits the F20C, an engine that shouldn't have been possible. 2.0 liters, 247 horsepower, 9,000 revolutions per minute redline, 123 horsepower per liter. That was the highest specific output of any mass-produced naturally aspirated engine in the world. And Honda held that record for 11 years, until Ferrari's 4.5-liter V8 in the 458 Italia barely edged past it in 2010. Let me say that again. A 2-liter Honda 4-cylinder held off every naturally aspirated engine from Ferrari, Porsche, BMW, and every other manufacturer on the planet. For over a decade. How? Because Honda's engineers essentially built a motorcycle engine for a car. The F20C uses fiber-reinforced metal cylinder liners, an aerospace technology that Honda adapted for automotive use. FRM liners are lighter and more heat-resistant than traditional cast iron, which means Honda could run tighter tolerances without the engine seizing at extreme temperatures. The pistons are forged aluminum with molybdenum disulfide coatings, the same friction-reducing technology used in satellite mechanisms. In a car that costs $32,000, the camshafts are hollow to reduce rotating mass. Every gram saved at 9,000 revolutions per minute translates to less stress on bearings and valve train components. And the VTEC system in the F20C operates on both the intake and exhaust cams simultaneously, unique among Honda's VTEC applications and critical for maintaining both power and reliability at those insane engine speeds. The result? S2000 owners routinely report 250,000 miles with nothing more than oil changes, timing chain inspection, and valve adjustments. No carbon buildup, no turbo failure, no LSPI. Just engineering that works exactly as intended, decade after decade. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because the reason these engines last forever isn't just what Honda put in them. It's what they deliberately left out. Modern engines fail for predictable reasons. Carbon buildup from direct injection. Turbocharger failure from extreme heat and RPM. LSPI from high cylinder pressures. Timing chain stretch from aggressive downsizing. The B and F series engines have none of these problems. Not because they're old, because Honda made fundamentally different engineering decisions. Port injection. Every B and F series engine uses port fuel injection, which means fuel sprays onto the intake valves and washes them clean with every combustion cycle. Zero carbon buildup. Zero walnut blasting bills. The valves stay clean for the life of the engine. It's maintenance that happens automatically every single time you drive. No forced induction. No turbocharger spinning at 280,000 revolutions per minute. No intercooler. No wastegate. No boost control solenoid. Every component that doesn't exist is a component that can't fail. These engines make their power through displacement efficiency and high RPM breathing, not by force-feeding compressed air into the combustion chamber and hoping the head gasket survives. Over-engineered internals. Where modern manufacturers use computational optimization to use exactly enough material, not a gram more, Honda's 90s engineers built in safety margins that border on paranoia, forged internals in consumer cars, oil squirters in economy models, closed deck blocks where open deck would have been cheaper. Every decision was biased towards survival, not toward the quarterly earnings report. The real difference? Philosophy. These engines were designed by people who expected them to last 300,000 miles. Modern engines are designed by people who expect you to lease the car for 3 years and give it back. Let's put this in perspective with actual numbers. A 2024 Hyundai Sonata Turbo makes 180 horsepower from 1.6 turbocharged liters, 112.5 horsepower per liter. The B18C5 from 1997 made 108 horsepower per liter. Naturally aspirated, no turbo. 27 years ago, Honda was within spitting distance of a modern turbocharged engine's specific output, without a single forced induction component. And the maintenance comparison is where it gets embarrassing for modern engineering. The B18C5 at 200,000 miles needs timing belt, valve adjustment, oil changes. Total cost of ownership for engine maintenance over 200,000 miles, roughly $3,000 to $4,000. A modern GDI turbo engine at 200,000 miles needs timing chain replacement, walnut blasting every 50,000 to 80,000 miles, turbocharger inspection or replacement, and significantly more expensive synthetic oil at shorter intervals. Total cost? $8,000 to $15,000 for an engine that makes marginally more power per liter. And before anyone says, but modern engines are more fuel efficient, yes, on the EPA test cycle. In the real world, many turbo engines deliver worse fuel economy than their displacement suggests because the turbo is constantly compensating for the undersized engine. Your turbocharged 1.5 liter that's supposed to replace a 2.5 question mark. It's working twice as hard to pretend it's bigger than it is. Meanwhile, a B18 sips fuel at highway speeds because it's not fighting physics. It's working with it. Now for the plot twist. These engines are worth more today than when the cars were new. A clean Integra Type R that sold for $25,000 in '97, $60,000 to $90,000 today. Some have crossed $100,000. A low-mileage S2000 with the F20C, $50,000 to $70,000 for a car that's stickered at $32,000. A standalone B18C5 engine, just the engine, no car attached, sells for $5,000 to $8,000 on the used market. A standalone F20C, $7,000 to $12,000. Reliable engines that also happen to be appreciating assets. And they're appreciating because the market has finally realized what Honda engineers knew in the 90s. There will never be engines like these again. Emissions regulations killed the naturally aspirated high-revving formula. VTEC lives on in name, but the philosophy that created the B18C5 and F20C, race technology in a street car, built without compromise, that era is over. What you're looking at isn't just automotive history. It's a closed chapter. And the engines that survived are worth more every year precisely because they can't be replicated. So here's the bottom line. Honda's B and F series engines last forever because they were built by engineers who believed that durability wasn't a feature, it was a responsibility. Port injection keeps valves clean for life. Naturally, aspirated design eliminates turbo failure, LSPI, and boost-related complexity. Over-engineered internals with forged components handle abuse that would destroy lesser engines, and a design philosophy that prioritized longevity over planned obsolescence. Every one of them is a rebuke to everything modern automotive engineering has become. So here's what I want to know. Have you ever owned a Honda with a B or F series engine? What mileage did it hit before you sold it? Or are you still driving it? Drop your number in the comments. I want to see who's got the highest mileage Honda in the audience. And if you're shopping for a used car right now, here's your checklist. Option 1. Find a clean Integra, Civic Si, or Prelude with a B series and hold on to it. Option 2. If you can afford an S2000, buy it yesterday because these prices aren't coming down. Option 3. If you already own one, for the love of everything mechanical, don't sell it. If this video changed how you think about what reliable actually means, hit like. Subscribe for more engineering breakdowns that go beyond the marketing, and share this with anyone who thinks newer always means better. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, drive smart, buy smarter.